Hello and welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. And today we have the Pikesville Straight Rye, 110 proof, so 55% of volume, alcohol by volume. So a rye, high strength, straight, so it should be old. Sounds good. Yeah, registered patent of Standard Distillers. What is that? That is Monumental Distillers Incorporation. What does it say on the back? Oh, it just says the importer. Oh, okay. It says short fill. Oh, that means okay. They don't fill it to the top. If you stand it down and you see that it's not filled up to the top, but they filled a little short. Filling a bottle is actually not such an easy task, because you fill a bottle not by volume usually, but by height. So people don't complain. That means you always get a little bit more than what is written on the bottle, because the size of the bottle varies. So you have to fill it a little bit more, so it looks like everything is filled to the same amount, but it actually isn't, because the bottle size varies quite a lot. Oh, quite a lot. Depends on what you define by a lot. So it's a Maryland Rye Whiskey, and it kind of survived the Prohibition. It's not a very famous brand, so it's 51% rye, so it's a pretty mild rye whiskey. 39% corn, 10% malted barley. So it's one of the milder, and it goes even a little bit into that bourbon style. But 51% rye is just not, just not easy, not smooth, but actually a pretty intense one. Oh, I like it. It has that spiciness to it that you know from the ryes, but you also have that sweetness that you do know from the bourbon. So it's a good amount of rye mixed with a little bit of bourbon flavor in there as well. A little bit of a chocolatey note as well. I love it. Oh, I like it. Oh, the 55% carry a lot of flavor. Oh, that waters my mouth. It's pretty oily as well, and has a good amount of spiciness to it. A little bit of a dry note to it as well, probably from the high amount of alcohol. But it has that nice sweetness to it. So it's a bit of a cloves and baking and rye bread, and combined with a little bit of honey, caramel, that kind of flavor. Oh, I love it. That's a good mixture between a rye whiskey and the bourbon flavors. A little bit more on the rye flavors, but it has a good balance between the spiciness and the sweetness. Although, if you have a good amount of spiciness with sweetness within, let's say, a Scotch whiskey, it's a lot less, a lot more nuanced. Here it has two big pillars that are spiciness and sweetness, and a lot of additive flavors from the fresh casks. So yeah, it feels like an American whiskey with a lot of rye in it. It shows that you can make good whiskey, even though you're not in the whiskey areas of the United States. You can even make a really good whiskey in Maryland. And I guess must be a really, really old brand, because, or old recipe, if it comes from that region, because, Maryland was, I think, one of the, older colonies that were established in the United States. Yeah, so that was my take with the Pikesville Straight Rye whiskey. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.